Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Muhammad Aziz bin Zaid and I will tell you about short run production. What is production? Production is the process of transformation that require any or the combination of factors such as land, capital, labor and entrepreneur from input into output in form of goods or services to satisfy market demand and to maximize profit. Down here shows how input can be further categorized into fixed input and variable inputs, which are used in a short run production. The first one is land. What is land? All natural resource or gift of nature such as forest, water, mountain and such. The second one is capital. It is man-made tools to aid production such as machinery. The third one is labor. Labor is a human effort, mental and physical resources used to produce goods. And the fourth one is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a person who coordinate and organize all other factors of production and absorb the risk to produce goods or services to earn maximum profit. Function. What is function? Function is to find the relationship between inputs and outputs. When input increase, output increase. Production function are written as this. Time range. There is two types of time range. The first one is short run. Short run must have at least one fixed input with one or more variable inputs. Outputs increase as the variable inputs increase, while fixed input is always constant. For example, producer cannot change land and factory size but can change the amount of labor or raw material. The second type of time range is long run. Long run does not have fixed inputs. All production factors become variable inputs. Output increase as the input increase and firm is able to build new factories and buy new machineries. There is three important concepts that we should know. The first one is total product, TP. The second one is average product, AP. And the third one is marginal product, MP. Okay, for the total product, TP, is the maximum output that can be produced by firm using different combination of input. Average product is the output per unit of variable input or total product divided by quantity of variable factor. The formula is AP equal to TP divided by QL, where TP is output and QL is the quantity of variable factor. For the marginal product, MP is the change in the total product when one more unit of variable factor is employed, with all other input used remain constant. The formula is MP equal to total TP divided by total QL. The table below shows the production of wooden chair by Aurora Enterprise. When the firm has only one labor, 3 wooden chair can be produced. The total product continuously increasing as Aurora Enterprise adds the amount of labor. At 3 units of labor, marginal product is at its maximum point. At 4 units of labor, marginal product starts to decline, and here is when the law of diminishing marginal return set in. When the amount of labor is 8, the total product reach its maximum production. If Aurora Enterprise employs additional labor after reaching the maximum total product, the firm will suffer losses because the number of labor is more than sufficient. At 8 units of labor, MP becomes 0 and it becomes negative with the 9th labor employed. In the short run, the law of diminishing returns states that at a certain point in the production process, when more units of variable inputs are added to a fixed amount of input, the total production will increase at a decreasing rate. Diminishing returns to labor occurs when the marginal product of labor starts to fall. The law of diminishing marginal returns is associated with the total product, average product and marginal product. The meaning of law of diminishing marginal returns is shows clearly by using the total product, average product and marginal product curve.
As you can see in the slide, there's a table and a graph down there. In the table, from the left column, we got land, labor, total product, average product, marginal product, and law of marginal returns. I'm going to show you how we are going to calculate the average product and marginal product. Average product can be calculated by dividing total product with variable input, that is the labor. From the second row, by dividing 3 with 1, we get 3 as the average product. For the marginal product, the formula is the difference between total product and difference between fixed input. At the third row, difference for total product is 4 while difference for fixed input is 1. By dividing 4 with 1, we get 4 as the marginal product. Now, we sketch a graph. Marginal product is the y-axis and quantity of labor as x-axis. We can see a mountain shape like graph. The increase in the graph represents law of increasing marginal returns, while the decrease represents law of diminishing marginal return. When the MP goes less than 0, it is a negative marginal return. Next, we learn about the relationship between total product, marginal product, and average product. For the first one, the relationship between total product and marginal product. When total product increase, marginal product increase too until total product reach its maximum point. The marginal product is at 0. When total product increase slower than before, the marginal product will decrease. Next, the relationship between average product and marginal product. When marginal product increase, the average product increase too. When marginal product meet average product at its maximum point, the marginal product is equal to average product. When marginal product is below average product will decrease. That's all from me. Thank you.
In the short run, the three stages of production are illustrated in figure 6.5. For the stage 1, begins from the origin until the AP curve reaches its maximum point or until the point of intersection between MP and AP curves occur. When the number of variable inputs, as in labor employed, and small relative to its fixed input, i.e. land, which is underutilized. With the second unit of labor employed, the MP will increase due to the greater efficiency in the use of land and labor as both inputs are used in better proportions. In the table 6.3, with only one unit of labor, the total output produced are 3 units. When the second man is added to the workforce, the total output rises to 7 units. With a third unit of labor is employed, the total product increases further to 33 units. This will give rise to the law of increasing marginal returns because extra workers allow the firm to organize the workforce more efficiently by specialization or division of labor. In stage 1, there is a sharp increase in the TP curve because the TP curve is increasing at an increasing rate. Note that the MP curve rises but it begins to fall after the third unit of labor is employed. In addition, the AP curve continues to rise as long as the MP curve is greater than the AP curve. Eventually, when the fourth unit of labor is employed, with this additional unit of variable inputs to its fixed capacity, the law of diminishing marginal return sets in. This is because an extra worker adds less to the total output than the previous workers, as the workers are unable to cope with the fixed inputs, such as workspace and machines, that result in declining marginal labour productivity. A rational producer will continue to produce at this stage, as he can still increase TP by increasing the quantity of labour used. Basically, stage 1 is known as the law of increasing marginal returns. Stage 2 begins after MP intersects AP, which is point C, at its maximum until the MP curve equals to 0, which is point B. The TP curve is at its maximum point, which is point D, when MP curve is equal to 0. The value of AP and MP will decrease but still remain positive. The AP curve is above the MP curve. At stage 2, when more labour, which is a variable inputs, are added to land, which is fixed input, TP will increase at a decreasing rate. This implies that the additional units of labour employed will result in decreasing MP, meaning every new worker employed contributes lesser and lesser to the TP. A rational producer will stop production at this stage because production, TP, has reached its maximum point. Stage 2 is the most efficient stage of production because the combination between fixed and variable inputs is efficient, as both inputs are fully utilized. At this stage, there is no wastage and unemployment. You can conclude that stage 2, known as the law of diminishing marginal returns. Stage 3 begins when the MP is negative. The TP curve starts to fall. The AP will also fall but still remains positive. The AP will never be negative as long as the TP is positive. At stage 3, the fixed inputs such as land or workspace will be overcrowded as more workers with a variable input are added to the fixed input. Eventually, the TP will stop increasing and start to decline. Table 6.3 shows that the TP starts to decline from 78 units to 72 units, and the MP becomes negative when the 9th and the 10th units of workers are employed. A rational producer will not produce any output at this stage because by employing an additional one more unit of labour to the fixed input, the total product will decrease and the MP becomes negative. Hence, the combination between the fixed and variable inputs is not economical because the workspace becomes overcrowded as more workers are employed. Stage 3, known as the law of negative marginal returns. The 3 stages of production, stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, can be summarized as follows. Stage 1 begins from the origin until the AP curve reaches its maximum point. TP increases at increasing rate. MP reaches its maximum and declines. AP increases and intersects MP when EP is at its maximum, ends when AP equals to MP. Producer will continue to increase production as he or she can still increase TP. For the stage 2, starts after AP equals to MP. TP increases but at a decreasing rate until it reaches its maximum. MP declines until MP equals to 0. AP starts to decline but is still positive. Ends when TP is at its maximum and at the same time MP equals to 0. A rational producer will choose to stop production at this stage as he is able to maximize the output. Stage 2 is the most efficient stage. Lastly, for the stage 3, starts when MP is negative, TP is declining, AP is declining. Overcrowding, addition of one more unit of labour to fixed input, total product will decrease.
Cost of production is payment for input used in the production process that can be separated into long runs where all inputs are variable, and short run, where one of the input must be fixed. Cost of production can also be separated into two categories, which is implicit cost and explicit cost. Implicit costs explain the values of inputs used in production but are not purchased, while explicit costs define as cost that involves an actual payment to other parties. Short-run production is a combination of at least one fixed input and one variable input. Therefore, the cost incurred consists of fixed and variable costs.
There are 7 types of cost. The first one is marginal cost. Second one is total fixed cost. Third one is total variable cost. Fourth one is total cost. The fifth one is average fixed cost. The sixth one is average variable cost. And the last one is average total cost.
TFC is a cost that must be paid even if the output is 0. TVC, however, is a cost that follows the output number. Total costs are the sum of both TFC and TVC. AVC can be calculated by taking TVC and divided by the output produced. That can also be applied to average fixed cost and total cost by replacing the numerator with respective title. Lastly, marginal cost, defined as the change in total cost when one unit of output is produced, that can be calculated by taking changes in total cost divided by changes in quantity.
Relationship between short-run production and short-run cost. The cost curve and the production curve are interlinked. The cost curve of AVC and MC can be derived from the production curve of AP and MP respectively. There is an inverse relationship between AVC with AP and MC with MP. First, relationship between average product of labor AP and average variable cost AVC curve. The figure above shows that the AP curve is an inverted U-shape while the AVC curve is U-shaped. The relationship between productivity and cost are: as output rise, AP increase but AVC decrease because of spreading of fixed costs. As output increase further, AP is at its maximum level while AVC is at its minimum level. Both fixed and variable inputs are in the best combination. As output increase continuously, AP decrease but AVC will start to increase due to the law of diminishing marginal returns. Hence, the AVC curve is U-shaped. Second is relationship between marginal product of labor MP and marginal cost MC curve. As the diagram above, the MP curve is an inverted U-shape while the MC curve is U-shaped. The relationship between MP and MC are: when the output increase, MP increase due to specialization, which lead to an increase in efficiency. MC decrease due to spreading of fixed costs. Both fixed input and variable input are used in better proportion. As output increase further, MP is at its maximum while MC is at its minimum. Both fixed and variable inputs are in their best combination. When the output increase further, MP will start to decrease due to the inefficient use of the inputs and the law of diminishing marginal returns. Hence, MC begins to rise.